A shout out to my mate Burnsy for suggesting this video. Cheers for the killer idea, mate. Welcome to Tortuga, the lawless heart of Caribbean piracy in the 17th century. This small island off Hispaniola was a fortress for buccaneers who defied empires for gold and glory. In this video, we'll uncover the founder who built this haven, its impregnable fortifications, the equipment and supplies that fueled its raids, its turbulent history, the notorious figures who shaped its legend, plus the staggering amount of alcohol consumed, the role of women, the profitability of piracy, the enslaved people who laboured there, and whether Tortuga had landowners. Subscribe and let's sail into Tortuga's dark past. Named for its turtle-like shape, Tortuga was perfectly positioned close to Spain's treasure fleets, yet remote enough to evade their retribution. It was the ultimate base for a pirate rebellion. In the 1630s, Tortuga was a rugged outpost for French and English hunters, escaping Spanish control on Hispaniola. Enter Jean Levasseur, the man who forged its pirate legacy. In 1642, this French engineer and privateer arrived with 100 buccaneers and expelled the English settlers in a swift campaign. Levasseur envisioned Tortuga as a fortified base for raiding Spanish treasure ships. His engineering skills shaped its defences, while his iron rule brought order to the lawless. Taxing plunder and amassing a fortune in gold and jewels, he governed the Brethren of the Coast, a loose pirate alliance, for over a decade, making Tortuga the Caribbean's pirate capital. Tortuga's survival hinged on its defences, designed by Levasseur's genius. The centrepiece was Fort de Rocheur, a fortress on a 30-foot rock overlooking the harbour. Armed with 24 cannons and manned by hundreds, it was built to endure sieges. A natural spring ensured water, and access was restricted to a carved stairway and retractable ladder, making it nearly impregnable. Spain attacked Tortuga repeatedly between 1630 and 1654, but the buccaneers held firm. Each Spanish expulsion was temporary. The pirates always returned, rebuilding stronger. To maintain loyalty, French governors brought in women to keep the volatile pirate population content, ensuring Tortuga's resilience. Piracy required more than courage. It demanded tools and resources. Tortuga was the Caribbean's black market hub. Fast sloops, ideal for outmaneuvering Spanish galleons, were the backbone of pirate fleets. Cannons armed these ships, but buccaneers preferred boarding with cutlasses, pistols, and flintlock muskets, deadly but often unreliable. Supplies came from raids on Spanish settlements or trade with corrupt merchants. Tortuga's markets overflowed with rum, salted meat, hardtack, and looted goods like gold, silver, and spices. Taverns, such as the Fateful Bride, served as deal-making dens, fueling an economy built on plunder. Tortuga was notorious for excess, and alcohol was its fuel. Rum, distilled from Caribbean sugarcane, was the drink of choice. Historical accounts suggest pirates consumed vast quantities. Some estimates indicate a single pirate could down a pint of rum daily, with taverns serving hundreds of gallons weekly to crews of up to 2,000 men. Wine, looted from Spanish ships, and local brews like fermented cane juice were also common. Drinking stoked camaraderie, but sparked chaos. Brawls and duels were frequent. Taverns like the Fateful Bride were social and economic hubs where deals were struck, often over a bottle. For pirates, alcohol was both a reward and an escape from their brutal lives. Taverns were social and economic hubs where deals were struck, often over a bottle. For pirates, alcohol was both a reward and an escape from their brutal lives. Women were a significant presence on Tortuga. Although their roles varied, French governors, aiming to stabilise the unruly pirate population, reportedly imported hundreds, possibly up to 1,500 women, many prostitutes, to keep the buccaneers content. These women worked in taverns or brothels, often under harsh conditions, though some gained influence by managing businesses or brokering deals. Others, like Anne Bonny and Mary Read, defied convention. Active in 1720, these rare female pirates fought alongside men disguised as sailors. Their presence shows women could navigate Tortuga's lawless world, whether through commerce or combat. Slavery was a grim reality in Tortuga. As in much of the Caribbean, while exact numbers are hard to pin down, historical accounts suggest hundreds of enslaved people. Likely 500 to 1,000 at Tortuga's peak worked on the island. Most were of African descent, captured from West African regions like Senegal or Angola, often by European slavers or through pirate raids on Spanish and Portuguese ships. Some were Caribbean-born or indigenous Taino people, subjugated earlier by the Spanish. Enslaved individuals performed grueling tasks, building fortifications, repairing ships, loading cargo, or working small plantations that supplied food like maize or yams. In pirate society, some slaves were forced to serve on ships, maintaining vessels or even fighting in raids. Their labour was critical to Tortuga's operations, yet their lives were marked by exploitation and hardship, a dark underbelly of the pirate haven. Tortuga's rise began in the 1630s during the golden age of piracy, roughly 1650 to 1730 when buccaneers thrived. French and English hunters turned to piracy, targeting Spanish ships weakened by Dutch victories. By the 1640s, Tortuga was the heart of buccaneering, with figures like Pierre le Grand capturing Spanish flagships with small crews. Spain invaded 4 times between 1630 and 1654, but the pirates always reclaimed their haven. In the 1660s, France solidified control, making Tortuga a sanctioned base. The 1690s saw pirates venture to the Indian Ocean, and the early 1700s brought a piracy surge after the War of the Spanish Succession. By the 1720s, European navies, however, cracked down, dimming Tortuga's dominance. Did Tortuga have landowners? Not in the traditional sense. The island's economy was driven by piracy, not agriculture, so large plantations like those in Jamaica or Barbados were rare. Some French settlers and governors held small plots for food production, worked by enslaved labourers, but Tortuga's transient, lawless nature meant land ownership was secondary to plunder. Pirates like Levasseur controlled key areas like the fort, but formal land titles were scarce. Tortuga bred legends. Jean L'Honneur, the flail of the Spanish, terrorized the Caribbean. In 1667, he sacked Maracaibo, using brutal tactics to exact treasure. His savagery made him infamous, though it led to his gruesome death. Henry Morgan, a Welsh privateer, used Tortuga to launch daring raids, including the 1671 sack of Panama with 1,400 men. Backed by Jamaica's governor, he became a pirate icon. Anne Bonny and Mary Read, disguised as men, joined John Rackham's crew in 1720. Their fierce combat skills and defiance after capture left an enduring mark on Tortuga's lore. Was piracy profitable? For many, absolutely. A single raid like Morgan's Panama heist could yield hundreds of thousands in gold, silver and goods, millions in today's value. Top pirates like Levasseur amassed fortunes, while even low-ranking crewmen could earn hundreds, far more than a sailor's wage. But the wealth was fleeting. Many squandered it on rum, gambling or taverns, and most died young in battle or in betrayal. Tortuga's economy thrived on plunder, but only the cunning walked away rich. Tortuga was more than an island. It was a crucible of rebellion, greed, and legend. From Levasseur's fortress to the raids of Morgan and Bonnie, it defined the golden age of piracy. Thanks again to Burnsy for inspiring this deep dive. If you enjoyed this, hit like, subscribe, and share your favourite pirate story in the comments. Until next time, keep exploring history's shadows.